today we have the privilege to host the Renaissance man, the one and only Mr. Kevin Brent Jr., the head and lifeline of lifechangecutz, the coolest barbershop in the world on this planet.
Sir,
y'all need to come down and get y'all cut. Cause look at this man. This man is sharp. Look at this man.
oh yeah.
So he knows he's about business and he's about elevating the community and everybody in his life around him. So pretty much he is a motivational speaker. He's a seasoned barber with over a decade experience and a published author. He's got a book coming out soon. So y'all be out for that. All right. So actually, but what sets Kevin apart as an individual from everybody else is that he it's not the usual barbershop you ever go into. Usually you just go into a barbershop, you just chairs, mirrors, and clippers. But this man, he actually has a business running inside the barbershop not with just cutting. He got shoes, he got shirts, he got games, he got apparel everywhere. The sightseeing in this is very eye-catching. And it's pretty nice. I ain't gonna lie. Like you did all of this on your own, or you had a little help with that? Setting this shop up like this.
So this is all my idea. I'm a big kid. I love gangster movies, and I love retro movies. When I created this shop, I wanted to make sure that a gangster, a doctor, a nerd, and a preppy schoolboy all could be in the same room at the same time and get along. So with this establishment, I created that, and that whole vibe is good.
Definitely. Look, I can see what's your style and the style of the barbershop. Hey, everything matching up perfectly like what you just said right there. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I aim to dress to impress. You know what I mean? I used to work at a barbershop where there was, and I noticed that it was something off about this. Like I go in there, everybody be dressed in urban clothes, which is cool. You know what I mean? You're doing your job, you dress how you feel as a barber. But I wanted to sell certain type of haircuts that cost a little more than a regular barber. And I wanted to be noticed out of those 22 barbers. So one day I decided, you know what? I'm from Detroit. We like to get fresh. Let me get fresh and go to work. So one day I went to work in a suit. Now everybody makes that joke. Oh, where you going to church? Where you going? You got court or something like that? You know those regular little corny jokes like that? But I was like, I'm going to a bag. And ever since then, I've been dressing up, looking nice, and getting fly, getting money. Now, the first day I did do that, I got them laughing at me or whatever. But after that, it was crazy. I started taking people clientele.
Getting that respect.
People noticed me who I was. And, this is my first year at barber. I'm straight out of barber school, so nobody know my name. So that's how you make a loud boom and dressing good. You know what I mean? You got a choice when you come into a barbershop. You want the dude with the dirty T-shirt, or you want the dude with the fresh suit. Which one you go get your haircut by?
You definitely got to go to the cleaning dude.
Yeah. And I'm coming out of barber school. You don't know how to cut that well. You just still learning. But the presentation that I bought and the confidence that brought them towards me.
First impression is very important. I ain't gonna lie. When you see somebody, when you know somebody like they feel good and look good, they gonna make you feel and look good. Feel good and look good.
It's true.
That's right. So Kevin,
Sir.
How did you get into barbering?
So I learned this 2 years ago, AJ, that my grandfather, which passed away in 1997, my grandfather used to take me to barber schools. I never knew why he took me there. It was like, why are you taking us here to get our haircut, Grandpa? They're going to mess us up. He was just like, chill, Hey, the haircut's only like $2-3 at the time. This is in the 90s, of course. And it's like, man, they practice, give them some practice. They're going to be a good barber one day. I need y'all to help practice. So one day, my grandpa was like, I got some clippers, and I need you to cut my hair. And I was laughing like, Grandpa, I can't cut no hair, man. What are you doing? And he was all like, look, just try it out. You don't know what you can do. Just try it out. So I was like, all right. He was like, you can't mess me up. He said, the worst thing you do, if you do mess me up, I'll just shave it all off. And I'm going to get you to do that too. All right, Grandpa. So he was like, man, put that one guard on there, on the clipper, and cut me out all the way even. It'll be all even. So I cut him all even, brushed his hair and all that stuff. And he looked at me and he was like, I love it. But at the time, only thing I knew my grandfather was he was a preacher. I never knew he was a barber. He never told us that. And 2 years, like a couple years ago, one of my aunties found me on Facebook, and she was like, "Oh, Kevin, you joined the family business," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Your grandfather was a barber." I was like, "For real?" So she started telling me pictures of him cutting in a barbershop. She's like, "Yeah, he was a barber before he was a preacher. But all I know he was a preacher." You know what I mean? So I was like, "Hey, that's crazy." So that was really the first sight of barber. Second sight was when I was 29 years old. I was lost. I chose different jobs, man. I didn't work there. Yeah, I'm trying to find my path. I didn't work every job. I like food, so I was a chef. I worked at warehouse jobs. I washed dishes. I did every little labor job you could possibly think of, trying to find my way. And one day I was like, man, I got to sit down and really, really figure out what I want to do. So I typed in YouTube at the time. It was like 2016. No, 2013. YouTube at the time still kind of fresh. And I typed in motivational speakers. Now, one thing about Black people, we do what we see other Black people being successful at. Like most Black people sell drugs, play ball, rap, because they see that's all we grew up seeing them being successful. So we try those things. But I was like, man, is there a Black motivational speaker that I can, that looked like me and probably went through my struggles? And it was a guy named Les Brown. So I found Les Brown. He had a segment on there called "You Deserve." And it's a 45-minute segment. You can still look it up. It's timeless. He produced this in the 80s, and it's still relevant to today. I watched that 45-minute segment, and it changed my life forever. Everything on that segment, I studied for 3 months straight. And I broke the whole speech down. I memorized that thing like a rap song, like word for word. And I applied all the stuff he said do, and did it. But the best quote that he had that registered in my head today, even though I got a tattooed on my chest, is "Create the life you deserve." That quote right there changed my whole thinking.
It's not going to come to you. You got to make it yourself.
It's not going to come to you. You got to make it yourself. You got to have plans of action.
Wow. Truly inspirational. So, how would you say that impacted your barber career going forward?
I want to say this. That speech from Les Brown helped me figure out what I needed to do, where I needed to do it, what time I needed to do it. And that time was now to get my life together. So a lot of people don't know this. I was 29 years old when I got my GED. Like, there's no sense in anybody waiting that long to get there. But I wasn't motivated. I wasn't focused on getting there. And I'm gonna tell you how I got it, because there's a lot of people out there that don't have a GED. And they're like, it's a monkey on your shoulder, especially if you got kids. Because you want them to graduate from high school, and they don't graduate from high school. You can't be mad because you didn't graduate from high school. So it's just like, what can you do? You know what I mean? Some people scared to take a test. Some people just like, I'm too old to do it. You're only too old. The only time you're too old to do something is when you're dead. You're in the box. You can't do nothing. So when I got my GED, I did something simple. Like I said, I want everybody to do this that don't have a GED. I want you to go on YouTube and type in how to pass a GED test. They're going to break down the test. Math, social studies, science, English, language arts, all that stuff. They're going to break it down. You go study each section they tell you to study. Then you're going to go to a community college or whatever place that sells the GED test to take. You're going to take their pre-test after you study that. That way you know if you're going to pass each section or not. You know what I mean? If you do miss something, keep studying that and go back and take it, because it costs money to take that GED test. And you don't want to keep doing that. Mm-hmm. So that's what I did. And I ain't gonna lie, I failed failed it the first time. I failed the math part. I'm good at like adding numbers up and stuff real quick, like money, stuff like that. But algebra and trigonometry and stuff like that, that kind of confuses me a little bit. But if you want something, you go do whatever you need to do, necessary to do it. So I went on YouTube again, YouTube University. I'm gonna be talking about that a lot. That's my friend. Went on there, typed in how to pass GED math test, and they broke each section down. And it was like, well, these are sections you really don't need to study because it's multiple choice and they don't have too many questions, which was trigonometry at the time. It's like 4 questions. You can guess that, even if you get them wrong. As long as you got them fractions and the basic math, a little bit of algebra, you go past the test. And I never walked across the stage before until I got my trade in barber. I graduated at W.C.O.D State College. But before that, it was Christmas time. I took that test then. I retook it. I knew I passed it, you know. And I told my mom I was going through it. I was poor. I was working a job that wasn't paying me no money. And I was like, Mom, I got a special gift for you in January. I might not be able to give you no Christmas gift, but it's going to be top all the Christmas gifts. She was like, whatever, boy, you know.
Special.
Get out of here. So that January, they called me, George Stone called me and was like, hey, Mr. Brett's going to pick up your GED. You passed the test. Damn, yeah. So that wasn't my GED at the time. That was my mom's GED. You know what I mean? I owed her that. You know what I mean? So I was like, I called her up and said, Mom, I got a Christmas gift for you. She was like, what you talking about? I was like, you remember that Christmas gift I was telling you about? She said, all right, well, whatever. I'm home. So I pulled up. I had it in the folder. I said, here you go, Mom. She's like, what is this? She opened up. She started crying instantly. Like, oh my God, you actually went and did that? I was like, yeah, I'm trying to create the life I deserve. And that's just off listening to Les Brown. So within 5 years, that's what it really takes to like drastically change your life. I did that in 3 years. I got a GED, I graduated barber school, I got a twit card, and I got a career, all within 3 years, changing my mindset. But my mindset it didn't take 3 years to change. It only took 1 second to change. Because if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, that only take 1 second. Like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm not gonna live like this anymore. Poverty is not on me anymore. I'm going to change my life tonight. I gotta create the life I deserve.
Get fed up with it. So pretty much you were saying you never had a doubt in your heart. You set the path what you was gonna do. And did you have any like doubters around you? Because I know you knew you was gonna do it right and everything, get past everything and become who you are today.
So there's always gonna be doubters. Close family members will be doubters. Like my mom, for instance, she was a doubter. You know, a lot of people don't know that, but I'll tell you a story. So one day it was like Thanksgiving or something. I was telling my mom, like, yo, I'm about to go to barber school. And she was like, barber school? Kevin, I don't think barbers make that much money. But she didn't know what I know. And she didn't know that I was doing this for her. So now she's like, okay, well, you paying damn near all my bills and your bills off barbering. But she didn't know that I was doing that for her. You know what I mean? So don't be offended if you have somebody that don't see your dream at the same time that you see it. You know what I mean? That's not their vision. You got your own vision. So you can't listen to doubters. You know what I mean? But sometimes that give me motivation. If somebody say, I can't, like AJ said, Kev, you can't do this. Oh yeah? All right.
That's like your motivation right there.
Just like Michael Jordan, you know what I mean? Or any successful person, if somebody say you can't do something, I'll be like, well, I can do that. I know I can do that. If somebody else did it, I could do it. And if somebody else is a billionaire, Jay-Z, Kanye West, they billionaires. They do the same thing I do. They pee, shit, eat, and have sex. There's nothing wrong. We're not that different. You know, the only thing different between me and them is they thinking. You know what I mean? So you can study now, you know, YouTube University, you can go study how they think.
So
how any success person thinks.
You spoke a little bit about motivation. What was your driving motivation to get all this stuff done in 3 years? You said it took 5 years. Well, they say it takes 5 years. you're obviously a beast. And you got it done at 3. So what was your driving motivation to keep you going, even though that your mom was doubting you, your friends was doubting you, everybody else around your community might have been doubting you? What kept you going?
Well, I have a family to take care of. Let me tell you a story about my son one day. One day, my son asked me for a Happy Meal, which is cool, you know. Ain't nothing but a few bucks, right? That was a problem. I didn't have those few bucks. And I didn't get paid for another 2 weeks. And that check that was coming in 2 weeks was already spent. So I had to figure something out quick. So I gathered all my friends, came to my house. We had what I call a growth party. This growth party consists of everybody around you that you love and said, hey man, what do you think I'm good at? And all of them agreed on a few things. They said you're good at talking with people. You're good at selling stuff. And you're a good person. All of them said that. So I had to figure out, well, what can I do? You know what I mean? So I got my sons at the time. I was like, it was 3 of them at the time. I was like, man, what can I do to better y'all life today? Something I could do quickly. And when I was growing up, I was an artist. Like I like to draw and stuff like that. So I was like, man, I wonder if I could draw a spider in one of their heads or something like that. So I had some clippers upstairs, started playing with it, and I drew a spider. I was like, hey, I actually do that? That's crazy. Yeah, I'm good. So I went on YouTube University, typed in how to do a fade. Next thing you know, started fading. Took about a couple weeks, couple bad haircuts, but eventually I got better and better at it. I was like, it's pretty good, man. Maybe I can go to school for this. So August 17, 2000 and I want to say 13. Nope, not 13. 16. I went to barber school. Well, I graduated at 16. I'm sorry. 14. Yeah. I graduated barber school. I signed up for barber school. When I signed up for barber school, that instantly changed my mind of thinking. But before I signed for barber school, I had like a 5-month period where I was trying to get a twit card. Because at the time, the gas is high, and a lot of people was making a lot of money over there overseas or going to oil rig jobs. They was making like $100,000 in 6 months. It was crazy. I was like, I got to get some of that. You know what I mean? But I had a decision between going to barber school and that. And most people don't know this, but I have felonies. You know what I mean? And when you get a twit card, you have to sign a waiver. And it takes a while to get that application. It's not impossible, because some people say it's impossible to get it with felonies. It's not. You just got to sign a whole bunch of waivers, let them know that you're a good American citizen and that that pass was in the past. So once I did that, I waited, you know what I mean? And I waited, and I was like, man, if this twit card don't come here by August 16th, I'm going to barber school. So August 16th came. Guess who called my phone? The twit card people. It's like, yo, your twit card is ready. And I was like, I'm already signed up for school. I got to go to school. I guess it's my path. So I chose to go to barber school.
Change your mindset.
Yeah.
So Kevin, you talked a lot about your early career and how you got started. But let's talk about a little bit further into your barber career. How did you get so successful as a barber to be able to open up your own barber shop, hire 5 to 6 new barbers, and open up this establishment that greatly impacts the community?
Especially the skills you use to even deal with that process.
Exactly.
That took time and dedication. You don't start a business right away. I go to barber schools and I preach to the kids. That's the first thing I ask. I say, how many of y'all want to graduate today and open up a barbershop when y'all graduate? And it's always like 4 or 5 or 6 hands that they raise their hands. And I tell them, the people that keep your hands up, raise their hands, keep your hands up. All right, can I ask you a question? And they'll be like, yeah. After you learn to ride a bicycle would you jump on a Harley Davidson?
That's a big step right there.
And that's the same big step with
Man, it's automatic.
going to barber school to open up your own business. You need to work inside of a business first to learn. Even if you even go light, you don't even know if you go light barber. You know what I mean? It's a lot of long hours, a lot of time away from your family, a lot of skills. You got to deal with people. You don't know that stuff. So if you open up a barbershop, it might not be that successful because that, and also you don't have the clientele. You brand new. Nobody knows your name. So how you just gonna and you barely know how to cut. You just got out of barber school, you know what I mean? So if you don't have the clientele, which I recommend you have at least over 200 clients to open up your own shop. If you don't have that, do not open up your own shop. Not only if you got 200 clients, half of those clients gotta go to the people that you hired, the new barbers that you hired. So you gotta split that. You know what I mean? So when I opened up my first barber shop, I had 600 clients in my client list.
Wow.
So I made sure if anybody come with me, they're gonna be able to eat too. And the atmosphere that I created, I want to make sure that this is a one-of-a-kind barbershop that nobody else could replicate. Because the stuff that's in here, even if you try to, there's stuff in here that you could never get. You know what I mean? They'll know you copying my style. That's kid right there. You know what I mean? So people come out in and out of town and be like, damn, man, this place is dope. Like, how did you think about this? And I was like, man, this is in my head. I just wanted a place where we can all hang out, everybody be cool, and I give away stuff, and I have fun for the hours that I work and go home. And make sure my people eat. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. I value my people that work with me.
And that's the thing about you. Your niche is so authentic. You didn't have like, okay, what I'm gonna do to make this poppin'. It just came to it automatically, like you said, this is me, this is what I want, and people just gravitated towards you like that. When did you first realize that people just gravitate towards your personality and all of your skill sets?
Well, I'm a good
to
person.
build that 600 clientele, like how you did it.
I'm a good person, and I like to hang out and get to know people and figure out what they like. Let's just say you're in my chair for the first time. I'm not going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about you. Like, how's your day? Do you got kids? Got a wife? Do you got a dog? What do you like to do for fun? What are you watching on Netflix? What, just it's like a weird Tinder date. Yeah. The first time I'm talking to a client, you know what I mean? But I'm getting to know them. So you want to make your client feel like he's your friend and your family, and which they are. They become your family. They take care of you. So you want to take care of them at the best. Well, actually, in my book, I got a chapter called "Going the Extra Mile." My book is called Hair Figures: How to Make a six-figure income in a year. You know what I mean? I got it formulated all the way down to the nit and gritty. And that chapter, what was it again? The chapter, what's the chapter called? Going the Extra Mile. So yeah, the chapter Going the Extra Mile. Let's just say it's sex night for you and your old lady. She coming there with let's just say pajama set, looking like a dude with a bonnet over her head. You're not really. I mean, you go ahead. You're a little excited because you're gonna have sex, but it's not going the extra mile. Now, what's she coming there with some high heels on, lipstick, hair done, short dress with lingerie? Just fishnet. She going the extra mile. You about to have fun, right? You're like, I want some more of that. I gotta go back to that.
Dress the part.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same way how I do Life Change Cuts. I make sure they want to come back. So I offer refreshments, hot towel massage with rose water, Neutrogena facials. We got a handgun massage I put on that when I put on your back, your arms, stuff like that. People go to work, they tired. As barbers, back in the 50s, we used to pamper our clients. They don't do that no more. All they do is give you a haircut and charge you $100. That ain't right. If you ask me, what's $100 haircut at hashtag lifechangecutz, I'm gonna give you the drill. Hey man, this thing come with a full haircut, a hot towel with rose water. You know what I mean?
Complimentary shot.
A complimentary shot. A hashtag lifechangecutz t-shirt or a Neutrogena kit or a hat. Also, you get a free designer body oil. And guess what? After that, what? You get a priceless conversation. Now, what is your barber giving you?
Oh,
It's like, none of that. They're just giving me a haircut, $100. I'll give them $100. Well, come on down to hashtag lifechangecutz where you can get past that. We value your money over here because we believe that your money, your hard-earned money, is ours. Rewind that part. I'm glad we're gonna be editing this stuff. But we believe that your hard-earned money should get you what you pay for. So, next question.
So, Kevin, you mentioned a little bit about your book. How did you go from being a barber to a motivational speaker to now an author?
Oh man! So when I was studying Les Brown over the last 5 years, I was like, man, I like the impact that he put on people, but how can I do that? You know what I mean? So I practice every day, which is how can I practice every day as a barber? So every client that I got in my chair, the introduction, after I tell them, ask them questions about themselves and stuff like that, I asked them personal questions, about growth. Like, what are you doing with yourself? Let me ask you a question. This is what I will ask you. What kind of car would you like to drive? What's your dream car? I'm asking you this question. What's your dream car?
Oh, I want like a BMW M3, something like sporty. This one, something like kind of like.
How much does that cost?
Ooh, man, it's high up there. Almost like 60K up to 80K, something like that.
All right, working at your current job, can you afford that next week?
No.
6 months?
No.
A year?
That's more than that's way more than I'm making.
So knowing that you can afford your dream car working at the establishment that you work at, why are you still working?
That's a good question.
So I ask people these questions like that, because I had these same questions myself. I had to ask myself, like, look, I know the stuff that I want, and I know what I'm doing is not accumulating that success. So what do I have to do to create that success? So that's where you guys can go get my planner at. Now, this planner is called the Growth Planner. The Growth Ladder. It's a planner explaining how to get the things that you want out of life. So on one side of the planner it's called goals. The other side is called must do. Did you know everything that you write down, it will come true? Everything. Everything you see right now is something that I wrote down on a sheet of paper. I wrote down I want the coolest barbershop in the world. I want to be happy. I want to be wealthy. I want to make over $100,000 a year. I want to have a Mercedes, a BMW, but you got to be specific on what you want. So whatever year, a car you want, or house you want, or whatever, you have to make sure you write these things down specifically, because you'll get what you want out of that. Like, just say if you wanted a wife, I want a wife. Some people just might write that on the paper. Yeah, you can get a wife, but you might
not the one you want.
Not the one you want. You know what I mean? You might get divorced or whatever because you wasn't specific. So you got to write down, like, I want a wife that, we can build together, listen, blah, 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 and all that stuff will come true. But that was the scariest moment in my life when I figured that can happen. So I tell my sons this and anybody. Let me give you another example. You ever drive down the street and see a homeless man with a sign that says, anything helps? And he wrote that down, right? So he gets anything. People throwing pennies, quarters, whatever. Whatever. But what if he wrote down, I need 5s and 10s? What you think he would get? 5s and 10s. So that's the same thing with you. Whatever you want, you got to write it down and make sure that you look at it every day, because this is a map. This is a map for life. You know what I mean? To get your life right. You put those things down on there, you go get everything you want, but you got to make sure you look at it every day, you see it every day. That way you know what to follow when you go out in the world, because it might be some stuff that can distract you. Like, it might be a new pair of J's or something that you want, but if you want that BMW, you know you can't buy the new pair of J's, because that's not part of your plan. You know what I mean? So, the growth ladder, that's my planner. Y'all can click the link at the bottom, and it'll send you to there to buy the planner. It's cheap. It's like $15, and it'll help change your life. $15 to make millions. That sounds like a hell of an investment. Huh?
Cheap, but not lacking quality. I want y'all to know that as well. I'm only saying this because I'm a barber at Kevin's shop, so I learned a lot of game from this man. This man's truly an inspiration.
Sweet.
I came out of barber school. He said, AJ, it's going to take some people a year to make this money. And then he's like, but if you're a beast like me, you can do it in 6 months.
6 months, baby.
So I took the formula that he blessed me with for free, because I came under his wing. But he gave this to you in a book. Now he can't give this to you all for free, but this formula right here that he introduced in this book really helped me get as far as I can in life. And truly grateful for this man. Truly a blessing. This man came into your life, came to the barber school, recruited me out of barber school. He's like, man, come to my shop, changed my life. So I guess you could say, honestly, this man stands true to his name. Lifechangecutz.
Yes, sir. So that's one thing I tell people, you know, like coming out of barber school, kids be like, oh, how long is it going to take to make the money? It's really up to you, you know what I mean? Like when I was in barber school, I did a lot of stuff to make sure I had a name. Burger King and McDonald's promote every day, all day, and you got a business and you don't promote every day, all day. These billion-dollar companies, they doing that. What are you doing? Like, I know people that have businesses that do not promote every day.
Wow. So
how people go find you? You know what I mean? How people go spend money with you? So every day, I got a little saying: 5 posts a day keep the broke away.
Amen.
And if you're a good barber, you know it's gonna take you consistently staying in the chair. It's gonna be some good days, gonna be some bad days. But if you have a year of consistency, you go win. You know what I mean? But slack off, you go lose. You know what I mean?
So Kevin, I gotta ask you a burning question.
Mm-hmm.
How did you develop this formula that you just tried true to make sure that you could be hair figures and 6-figure barber and accomplish everything that you do?
A lot of trial and error, a lot. I can give you an example. So one day I was working my first barber gig and I seen a sign that said regular haircuts $22. Then it had the gentleman was $30 and the exclusive was $50. But it didn't explain what the gentleman and the exclusive was. So I called the dude up that owned the shop at the time. I was like, hey, yo, Dre, man, what is the exclusive and the gentleman? And he was like, yo, it's whatever you want it to be. So I was like, huh, that's what's up. So I was like, man, what value can I bring to these services that make people come see me more? So I was like, man, get a massager. You know, I'm gonna hand out shots, because if you're a barber with a license, you can hand out a complimentary shot or a glass of wine, just one. You can't get nobody drunk.
I didn't even do that.
Yep, it's under our license. Even if you go to a nail salon, that's why they give you wine and stuff like that. But I was noticing that, you know, I was like, man, I gotta figure this out. So I did the shots, I did the massages, the hot towel, all the stuff we learned at barber school. I just implemented to the service, and I was like, I'm gonna give something away to make them, you know, feel good. So what can I give something away to make somebody feel good? Well, food makes people feel good and smells. So I was like, I know at the flea market they had body oils. Let me grab those, because they're cheap and I can get those out. You know what I mean? If you give me $30, it'll pay for that. You know what I mean? Or even if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna give you one just to, you know, say, hey, here's a gift. If you give somebody a gift, they automatically gotta return that too.
And it's gonna make them remember you too.
And it's gonna make you remember you. So I was like, man, So one day I came to the barbershop. I told my homeboy, I said, yo, for now I don't cut no $22 haircuts. If they don't want the gentleman or exclusive, don't send them to me. And he was like, what? There's no way you can do that, dog. You're not gonna survive me off there. I was like, you'll see. So I did that for a whole month straight. I just kept rejecting people. Nope, no, I don't want no cheap clients. I'm good. Nope. You go at least give me $30, man, or $50. I'm tired of being here all day. I want to get my money and go. Because we had a goal. It was $200 a day. You can shoot that. Hey, that's a good day. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, man, I need to be making that $200 a lot quicker than these hours that I was spending all day here, all day and night for.
Time to wait for nobody.
So after a month of doing that, I finally built my clientele up where all I got was gentlemen and exclusives.
I want to pick your brain about everything you just said, because obviously you're a risk taker. Like you said, he doubted said, hey, you're not going to survive off declining clients like that and only accepting your bar minimum. Yeah. And you stood on that 10 toes down, and that played out to your success. So what I want to ask you is, how is the new generation of barbers compared to? I know you're still in the current generation of barbers, but there's even like a newer generation of barbers. They got the Hollywood barbers and everything. How do you view that? Was that like a thing you was trying to go for also, for either higher clientele or something? Would you like for younger barbers to try to reach that status, or go for your path?
So you always want to go to the top no matter what. And barbering is a little different than when I came into the game. So let me break down barbering a little bit. So the 80s, everybody was wearing like S curls and stuff like that. When the 90s came, everybody started rocking fades like Will Smith. So it was some points of time barbers weren't getting a lot of money, but they had to, do what they had to do in the 80s and 90s. So my time was, I got out of barber school in 2016. So a wonderful thing happened. People was growing dreads out, full-length dreads. So nobody wanted no haircuts, really. And one day, a barber said, you know what, look good with these dreads? Let's cut half of them off. Let's do undercuts. Or, a lot of ladies were shaving half of their heads off and getting fades and designs. So that's brought us back into the game. Then the sponge came out. It's all coming out of barbers. So the sponge came out. Everybody started scrubbing their hair, and we want to fade and the curl. I was like, man, this is the best time. So barbering was booming. Then COVID hit.
Oh man.
Oh my! Hey, I gotta tell y'all a story before I tell you about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did that.
COVID is crazy. So 2019, I opened up. I said, I'm gonna open up the coolest barbershop in the world. Hashtag lifechangecutz. Do a big party video. Hey, everybody was happy. And we opened up. It was a big success, you know what I mean? But March 2020, I had to shut this thing down. COVID said, hey, the state shut it down for 3.5 months. Now, I still got to pay property, the lease. I still got to pay my bills, all that stuff. That didn't matter. It was rough. Well, I don't know if I should be saying this, but people will pay for stuff they can't get. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I was cutting a little hair on the side. I had to survive. But you could charge triple the amount for a haircut that you could if the barbershop was regularly open, because it's a risk. I was risking my license. So, we had to do what we had to do, but it was fun. But then when I had to come back into the barbershop, I was like, damn, I'm not making $200 a head no more. You know what I mean? I got charged back regular prices, but also a thing too, like everybody stayed home. You know what I mean? People were still scared to come out to go get haircuts because COVID restrictions and all that stuff. You got to wear a mask. Mm-hmm. They had all types of restrictions when they let us come back because they had dividers and stuff. It was crazy, man. And then a lot of my clients that usually come, like I used to have a lot of Navy Federal clients, military clients. Military weren't allowed to come back. to get a haircut in public for a long time. And then the Navy Federal people, everybody, or even regular people with 9 to 5s, they all switched to home jobs. So if you had a home job, you don't need a haircut that often like you do if you was in front of people all the time. So we lost, old barbers lost a lot of clientele, a lot of money. You know what I mean? So what we had to do was inflation. Everything goes up. So now my $30 haircuts had to go up to $100. You know what I mean? But what I offer, it balances out. But the regular barber coming out of school that don't know how to cut is charging $100 a haircut. Is that fair to the consumer? No. You know what I mean? Chicken wings up. Gas up. Light bill up.
Nope.
And nobody pay is going up. So it was rough for a second, but only the strong survive. And that's basically how I survived through those 3.5 months. I was strong enough to, had a couple of resources. And thank you on Biden for the PPP loan.
Oh, yeah.
That helped out a lot of people, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, it was rough, but only strong survived. We made it. Man.
So, Kevin, that story right there just shows the resiliency that you have as a person. And you also touched earlier about how a lot of the billionaires, like Jay-Z and people like that, the only thing that sets them apart is them thinking. What was your thought process during that time? How were you thinking, how am I going to keep my bills on? Or how were you thinking about your future in barbering?
I like to be backed up in the corner. And I like to fight my way out like a fighter. So even when I was like my first year of barbering, there was 22 barbers in the room, and usually they put barbers in the front, new barbers in the front, so you kind of catch that clientele or whatever, the new walk-ins and stuff like that. But I was like, man, I asked one of the top barbers in the shop, I was like, what's the worst spot for a new barber to sit in? He was like, in the back of the corner. I said, hey, I'm used to being back there. I'm going back there. He said, no, man, don't go back there. You ain't going to get no clientele. I was like, nah, I'll figure things out. And I did, you know what I mean? I had, I dressed to impress. Also, matter of fact, let me grab something real quick. This right here is my first barber kit that I had, custom made. It say Popey X on there. At the time, barbers had nicknames. It was like a big thing for a barber to have a nickname. So one thing I learned was that colors bring out different moods. And I was like, what color is a color that'll pop and it's appealing and looks good? You know what I mean? That you automatically stop. And that color is red. Red is sexy. It tastes good. It looks good. It's eye-catching. You ever heard of the lady in a red dress? That's what they're talking about. It's eye-catching. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, my cape's going to be red. So imagine you go in a barbershop, there's 22 barbers in there, and everybody got like black capes, black and white. Then you got this big red cape. Now the kid comes in, he's like, I want to go to him. He's in a nice suit. He's in a red cape. Superman. And I had a big sign on my station that said free toys for every kid. So I killed the demographic with that. Now, most barbers don't even like cutting kids' hair, but I loved it because I know the demographic of it. See, if you cut one little kid, his daddy gonna want to cut, mama gonna want to cut, his grandmama gonna want to cut, his uncle gonna want to cut, his classmates gonna want to cut, his soccer team gonna want to cut. So one little kid could bring you like 50 other people, but other people didn't know that. They just like, I just want an adult cut them, I make more money. No, not the long run. So that's how I became a family barber. And I call my hashtag lifechangecutz a family barbershop because we cut your whole family, just don't cut just you.
It's smart right there. Because like you don't think on a one-dimensional mindset. You actively think of how can I grow my business. And you don't hold anything back. You accept everything with full grace in your arms, and you go about it pretty positively.
Yeah, it's not just, I don't think about how can I grow my business. I also think about how can I bring value to my customers and to my people that's with me.
How have any customers you dealt with like came to you with any struggle that you helped them out on?
Oh, yeah, plenty, man. Um, one of my clients lost their job one time, man. He called me. He's like, man, I just lost my job, bro. I want to withdraw. You with a couple of friends come on, I feel down, feel sad, man. Come on over, man. Hang out with me and stuff like that. And I said, bro, I'm gonna do you a favor. He was like, what? I said, I'm not coming to your fucking pity party. It's not gonna happen. What you're gonna do is gonna get your ass a job tomorrow. You're gonna fill out every application that you need to. You're gonna stop feeling like that. Change your mindset and go get a bag. And when you get a bag, that's the next time I want to talk to you. Next time I talk to you, you're gonna have some money. If you don't have friends like that, you won't grow. The next day he called me that afternoon. Hey, I got a job. All right, now we can have a drink because you're handling your business. You got things to do. You got bills to pay. You can't be sitting around feeling sad for yourself about a situation that you know that you can take care of. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not capable of working. So why be lazy? Why let you be lazy? That's not a good friend.
So all these experiences that you had led you to write this book. But was there a key moment where you was like, wow, I need to get this information out of here, out of my mind on paper and share this to millions of people? Was there a key moment, or was it just?
Yeah, like I said, when I talked to y'all before about, the growth ladder, my planning, my dream car is a Rolls Royce. And what I'm doing right now, I can't afford a Rolls Royce in a week or two. But if I come out with something that I've been learning for the last 10 years and teach that, I'll be able to. I can't sell $1 million worth of haircuts in a day. It's impossible. But I can sell 1 million books telling you how I can sell 1 million haircuts. I can do that. So I had to come out with the teaching. After you do 10 years or something, you're a master of it. So it's time to teach other people how to get money. And that makes me feel good. That makes me feel good, like teaching you how to, provide for you and your future, or providing for anybody's family. It makes me feel good giving somebody some game that they didn't know about. You know what I mean? It makes me feel good helping somebody. It makes me feel good giving away. It makes me feel good giving value to my people, my sons. You know what I mean? The best thing a man can do is give a testimony with your name in it. That's one of the best things another man can do. You know what I mean? It's priceless. Like I wouldn't be here because of this man telling me this. That's ultimate bragging rights. That turned me on for some reason. I don't.
So Kevin, you became a barber, became a motivational speaker, became what's next?
Well, we focus on those right now. You know what I mean? And whatever's next is gonna be in a book. So it's gonna be for sale. So
tune in.
Tune in. I'm just focusing on those things right now. So much game, man, I can give in this book. Hair figures, man. How to dress, how to talk to clients, what to say, what not to say, what to do. What you do before and during and after barber school. Stories about my life that I won't even share with most people. It's in the book, and if you get that book, the value on it is crazy. You'll be crazy not to get it. It's gonna help you grow, not just only me. You need to buy this book so you can grow. You'd be crazy, especially if I had this book. I was in barber school. Hey, all the games in this book. Just read it. It's a short book. It's only like under 100 pages.
So where can people find this book, yeah?
It'll be on Amazon. I'll be having pre-order soon. It should be coming out on Black Friday. I think that's a good day. That way you can get a discount on it. It's a perfect gift for a barber, a young barber coming into school or trying to think about going to school, a small businessman, you know, there's so many tactics that I use that you can use that in your regular small business. It's just a great experience, man. It's a blessing. If you want to get rich, you want to make 6 figures a year plus, you go use these tactics. You go use this formula that I create.
And I want to ask you, Kevin, throughout your current and ongoing career, and this is for the people, what do you have the most fun with your barber, clothes, writing books? What is like your current most passionate thing in your life?
Growth.
Growth.
Growth is the key to happiness. Even if you grow a plant outside, seeing it grow, you're gonna be like, man, it do something to you, it just makes you feel good. Like, I watched that grow, I did it. Imagine if you do that to your life, to somebody else's life. That experience is just crazy. I'm like, man, I love how that feels. I love to challenge myself. Like, if you would have told me when I was 22 years old, you're gonna be writing a book. You're gonna be teaching people how to motivate themselves. You're gonna teach people how to cut hair, make 6 figures. I'd have been like, man, whatever, man. I'm trying to rap. Leave me alone. But growth is the key to happiness. And if you're growing, you're going to win. And you got to do accelerating growth is even better. Let's just say, like, every day I write like a list of things I need to do. AJ, I show AJ all the time, like, bro, this is what I got to do today. If I complete all this stuff today, I know my life will be better. You know what I mean? Not get to that Rolls Royce. But if I don't do it today, then there'll be procrastination. And procrastination is the killer of dreams. So if procrastination helps you, do it. But if not, you know what you gotta do.
That's good. That's a good answer right there. And I just gotta say, this is a big question right here. And it's a personal question for you. Where would you like to see barbering go? Like, well, what would you like to see it be or become?
I just
Pretty much,
want,
what's the vision of the future of the barbering industry and your role within it?
I just want to get it back to the 50s, man, where everybody was actually taking care of their client. It was giving them massages. It was talking to them. They were giving them comforting words, you know what I mean? It was a safe place for coming to the barbershop and say what you want and to stay in the walls and don't leave the walls, you know what I mean? We still respect that. Me and my staff, we still respect that to today, you know what I mean? Whatever stays in between the purple walls stays and don't leave out to the streets, you know what I mean? Right now, I think that barbering really doesn't have as much respect as it used to back then because of price gouging, and it's not a love for the craft. It's mostly the love for the money, because that's the first thing people say. Well, how much money can I get? How much money can I get? It's not. How can I make people feel good? That's what I do. How can I make you feel good? What can I do to make you feel better? I asked that on Facebook. What can I do to make my services better, y'all? What can I give away today? You know, what can I do to make y'all feel good? When I do that, I get a response. Sometimes I might not get a response, but most of the time I get a good response that tells me to do something like, hey, you should give out pizza today, or give out coffee or donuts or something like that. You know, people love food and snacks, and people love money. You know what I mean? So, also people love discounts. So I always give out a good discount the first time you come in. Like, hey man, I know this haircut's $100, but it's $10 off today. What? You know what I mean? Come on in.
So
Hashtag lifechangecutz. What's up?
So Kevin, we talked about a lot today.
Mhm.
Whether it be barbering, whether it be motivational, whether it be chasing your goals. What is the biggest gem that you could leave people with today?
The biggest gem is, like I tatted on my chest, create the life you deserve. That right there is probably the most dominant thing I'll be screaming at to the grave. Create the life you deserve. I tell my kids that every day. Create the life you deserve. You know what I mean? It's up to you. It's not up to nobody else. Nobody, even if you're at a job that you don't like, nobody pointed a gun at you and made you sign that contract. You signed that. So you accepted whatever money they said, I'm gonna pay you an hour. You know what I mean? I didn't accept the life that I had. I was broke every day. I didn't have no money. I didn't have nothing to show to my kids. I didn't have nothing growing for my kids, you know what I mean? Or myself. I got tired of that. One day you're gonna get sick and tired of being that. You're like, man, how are all these people getting rich so quickly? And then you're gonna go on YouTube University and type in how to get rich. You know, it's gonna be a billion videos. You're gonna get lost. But one of those videos might spark your interest in, you know, you might follow it. Like, there's so many ways to make money. It's crazy, it's scary, man. And Chat GPT is taking over. If you ain't on it now, you're lost.
Nice one. Man, Kevin, that was you laid it down.
Oh, yeah, it's a little like something, man. You know, first of many interviews.
Yeah, first of many. You got more to
I
come.
appreciate y'all, boys. I value y'all too. You know, appreciate y'all coming out, getting this done, man.
Well, we appreciate you first and foremost, you know what I'm saying, for giving this gems for people, you know what I'm saying, for the free. But make sure y'all check out his book, Hair Figures, coming soon.
Yes, sir.
If you want to get even more valuable information like this from the man himself, Kevin Branch Jr.
And my planner. Yep, Black Friday. And my planner, the Growth Ladder. You don't want to miss that, man. That's going to help you change your life instantly. That's a map for your life. Click down below, click the link. Maybe it's up here. But click one of those links, and it's going to send you right to that book. And it's going to change your life. Whatever you jot down and look at every day, you break that into your life. It's that simple. I know it seems like it could be that simple. It is that simple. Whatever you write down, it will come true.
Wow.
All right, y'all. Come visit us, 6707 Plantation Road, #lifechangecutz, Pensacola, Florida. Hey, baby. Great life you deserve.